Am I the asshole? I choose my family. My parents always choose my brother. It's been like this my entire life. As a child I never put them in the position to choose. That kept the peace and also didn't make me feel like shit about myself. I am the dependable child. I show up and always do the right thing. This is where things get tricky. My brother married into an awful family. Extremely entitled, snobby, and just very mean. They have always hosted Thanksgiving and it's just been something that my husband and I just go along with. Really to keep my parents happy. The last 2 Thanksgivings my sister-in-law's father has been incredibly mean to my 5-year-old. To the point where I reached out the day after Thanksgiving saying if this continues we will no longer celebrating holidays with them at all. We have seen them since and it's been fine but it's never been in their home and that's when the father's comfortable enough to be mean. This Thanksgiving my husband and I decide to plan a local trip for our family. We invite my parents and my brother's family. They all love the idea but decline. Since my brother declined, my parents said that they can't pick between families and of course picked my brother's. I expected it and I'm not even mad about it. My husband and I booked our trip anyways. We are not going to subject our children to a toxic Thanksgiving. Well, today I got the group text message about Thanksgiving plans. I sent a very friendly text back saying that we will be out of town etc. And now everyone is upset at me and blindsided although we have been discussing it for months. They thought because they declined the trip that we were not going on it. We are. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Enjoy your excursion. Soak in the peace. Yes, make your child, you and hubby a priority. Remember them choosing him repeatedly really has nothing to do with who you are but rather, who they are. Thrive up. Not the asshole. Have fun on your trip. You don't owe them anything. Your child would rather spend time with just their parents on a fun trip than be dragged to a family party where they get belittled by others. Trust me. I know from experience. If they want to get upset at you for going on a trip that they declined to go on, that is their own problem. You're planning a cool, memorable holiday for your family and don't let them stop you. Not the asshole. If they thought you were going to go with them after they declined. They don't value your opinion or space. Not the asshole. Enjoy your trip and don't even think of canceling. Your family thought that as usual you would give in and be the dependable child. But you are done. You are free. Congratulations on your emancipation and have fun on your trip. Make it a tradition you do with your husband and children. ETA just read your edition and consider this. Your parents have been letting you down all your life. I hate to put it so bluntly but they have never chosen you. How are you letting them down? If they won't choose you, not even once, you have to choose you. And don't forget your child, who's being bullied by an adult at this so-called celebration. Come on now. Not the asshole, but almost want to say everyone sucks here since you're not sticking up for your daughter more. Instead of reaching out the day after for sister-in-law's father being incredibly mean to your 5-year-old on his second offense, tell him off right then and there in front of everyone on the first offense. Not the asshole. You're taking care of yourself and your own family. They're probably surprised that you've grown a shiny new spine and aren't letting them dictate and ruin the holiday for you anymore with their toxicity. This kind of person doesn't know what to do with themselves when they can't bust through boundaries. Am I the asshole for not going to Thanksgiving over the dishes? This weekend is Canadian Thanksgiving. I, 29M, live in the United States but my stepmom is Canadian and her mom always comes down from BC for the weekend to celebrate with a feast for my mostly American family. To be honest, my step-grandma's cooking is not good. And she is the most passive-aggressive person I have ever met. Every year she makes such a big deal about how much work she put into her bland-ass food and expects endless praise for her efforts. But I digress. Every year at Canadian Thanksgiving, my husband and I are asked to do the dishes. It's fine, we don't mind it. But the hard part is that we are guests, and we are the only people ever expected to help. At first it was like, okay, we are the youngest, so that's why. But in the past few years, my stepmom's nieces and nephews, all in their early 20s, were there and after dinner went in the hot tub. Meanwhile, if I'm playing with my nephew I don't get to see much. I hear from the kitchen my step-grandma say loudly, "If only someone would help me with the dishes." And of course my dad comes over and says, "Hey, can you guys help her with the dishes?" I'm just sick of being the only ones expected to help. This is our second year living in a different city and about a month ago they asked if I was coming. I told them I wasn't sure and later told them I wasn't. They offered to pay for our flights and I still said I couldn't make it. Made up an excuse. But really it's the dishes. Again, don't mind doing them, just sick of being the only people expected to help out while everyone else is socialize and hang in the hot tub. I have talked to my brothers, both older, and one agrees with me and the other thinks that's a stupid reason. So I am wondering, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Shame on your siblings for not offering to help. It's fine to help out every once in a while but for you guys to be the cleanup squad each time? Not cool and y'all are being taken advantage. And shame on your step-grandma for making bland food. Info. Why not just say no to your dad? It sounds like from your post that he's the one targeting you guys. Why deprive yourself of seeing your nephew and the rest of your family instead of just saying, "Not this time, Dad, we've been pulling the weight of doing the dishes while the rest of the family gets to relax. It's someone else's turn." Edit. Judgment, not the asshole. Op response seems like it just didn't cross their mind to be able to say no. Info. Of course my dad comes over and says, "Hey, can you guys help her with the dishes?" And you're unfamiliar with the words, "No thank you," or "I'm just sick of being the only ones expected to help. Just stop saying yes." If you go, have your bathing suit on under your regular clothes before dinner and make sure your nephew does as well. Then immediately as dinner ends, hit the hot tub. Be the first to leave the table. Don't let the bastards win. Edit. However, the other people who are not being asked to help do the dishes, because they helped shop, cook, set up, should not have to do the dishes. Not the asshole. But nobody can take advantage of you without your permission. Talk to your dad beforehand and explain why you don't feel like coming and come up with an alternative plan. Given you don't like the cooking, why don't you offer to do some or all of the cooking? Nobody would dream of asking you to do the dishes. Not the asshole. An invitation is not a subpoena. That said, you might want to work on your assertiveness and learn to use the magic word no. You could attend and simply say, "No, I'm not doing those dishes, it's someone else's turn." Am I the asshole for telling my sister to just suck it up and wear the bridesmaid dress our cousin chose? My cousin Christy, 27F, got engaged a few months ago and asked my sister Jessica, 20F, and I, 25F, to be bridesmaids in her wedding. She recently sent the bridesmaid dress she picked for us in the bridal party group chat, and everyone immediately gushed about how much we loved it, and Christy was clearly very happy and excited about the dress. It's an orange satin dress with a pink floral pattern. It's definitely a very bright and bold choice, but I personally think it's really pretty, and fits her colorful tropical wedding theme really nicely. However, my sister Jessica hates everything about dress. She thinks the color is ugly, the pattern is tacky, and that satin is impractical for a beach wedding. She does not want to be seen wearing it or have pictures of her and posted on social media. She has been begging me to help her talk to Christy about it and tell her to pick a different dress, or let us choose our own dresses. She also wants to reach out to the other bridesmaids, who are mostly Christy's friends who we barely know yet, and ask them their opinion, because she is certain no one else likes the dress. I told Jessica that she just needs to suck it up, because part of being a bridesmaid is realizing the day is not about you or your preferences. We are there to support the bride and make the day special for her. Christy clearly has a certain vision for her dream wedding, and I feel like wearing the dress she wants for one day is not a huge ask. Jessica does not see it that way, and believes she should not be made to wear something she is not comfortable in. It would be different if her discomfort came from the dress being too revealing, or if she wasn't comfortable wearing dresses in general. But her argument basically boils down to the dress being ugly in her opinion and not her style. I don't know how we would confront Christy with this without insulting her taste and potentially hurting her feelings. The wedding is still 8 months away, so if I'm the asshole here and should try to change Christy's mind on behalf of my sister, now is the time to do it before everyone has bought the dresses and gotten alterations. But I would rather just avoid the drama. Edit. Since a couple people asked to see the dress, I will try to add the link to it. Dress. Edit 2. Hi, I really appreciate everyone weighing in. It's nice to see that the dress is equally divisive amongst you all as it was between my sister and I will be showing this thread to my sister, and I definitely will not be bringing up her problems about taste, style to my cousin, which I never had any desire to do in the first place. However, some people have shown me that the site selling the dress has pretty bad reviews, and it may be risky to try to buy from there. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. This is definitely worth letting my cousin know. Hopefully we can find the dress on a better site, or she can at least find another one with a similar vibe and price point. Not the asshole. I think you're absolutely right that this would be different if her concerns were about the dress being more revealing than she's comfortable with or if she didn't like dresses. But this is just a stylistic difference. I think it's very reasonable for a bride to want her bridal party to stick to a certain theme as long as it's nothing outrageous or unreasonable. This isn't outrageous or unreasonable, it's just a theme. This is the kind of thing where Jessica has two choices. Wear the dress and be a bridesmaid, or don't be a bridesmaid and wear her own dress as a guest. Not the asshole. Might be time to show your sister 27 dresses. Rolling on the floor laughing. Honestly, your sister either needs to step out of the bridal party or get over it. The dress has nothing to do with her and everything to do with what the bride wants. Acting like a brat about it isn't going to do anything other than make her look like a brat. I look like a sickly Victorian child in certain colors, but if my friend wanted that color for her bridesmaids I would wear it gladly. If nothing else, it would make her look even more amazing on her special day. Not the asshole. Sucking it up and wearing a dress you never would have worn in a million years is a time-honored part of being a bridesmaid. My buddy is a huge Miami Dolphins fan and that was his wedding theme. Fucking Dolphins colors. We live in Illinois, by the way. I had to wear a white suit with a green vest and an orange tie. It was ridiculous. But he thought enough of me to make me one of his groomsmen, so I rocked that shit like it was my funeral on prom night. Being in a bridal party is an honor. Sue, not only is your sister an asshole, she's an ungrateful asshole. Do tell your sister to withdraw as a bridesmaid. Her entitled attitude is going to create disruption for everyone over the next few months and at the wedding. Not the asshole for telling Jessica to suck it up. Totally TA if you intervene with Christy. It's so interesting how your sister has the lady balls to try to get you to talk to the bride but not talk to her herself. You're right to stay out of it. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for lying to my wife's friends after an argument? My wife, 39F, and I, 40M, have been married for 8 years and have a 4-year-old son. We both work full-time, have a good handle on household duties and expectations. My wife has been really busy at her job the past 6 weeks or so. Her job does a lot of seasonal work and this time of the year is among their busiest. They have a lot of seasonal workers they hired to help, and they held a party, happy hour for them last week. The week before the party, my wife was at a work conference for 4 days while I was holding down the home front. The day of the party, she told me that she would only stay until 6-7 so that she could be home for our son's bedtime. I went about our normal evening routine with our son and got a text from my wife at about 7:15 telling me that she was just wrapping up and would be home soon. I put our son to bed and started doing some cleaning, and the next thing I know, it's 9 p.m. and my wife isn't home, so I text her to see if she's okay. She calls back a few minutes later and tells me she's still talking with people but will be heading home soon. I was a little frustrated and annoyed by this. When she got home, I told her that I would appreciate a little more communication from her if her plans are going to change like that. She got defensive and told me that I am not supporting her and that she needs to feel like she has the freedom and agency to do social things without me policing and parenting her, and that she lost track of time. I told her that 90 minutes is a long time to lose track of and that it takes 20 seconds to send a text. She got mad and went off to bed. That weekend, she had a few friends over for cocktails. My wife was inside doing something, so I went out to the patio and said hi to her friends. I then asked them if I could get their opinion on a disagreement my wife and I had. I told them the story about my wife's work party but lied and told them that it was me that stayed out without updating my plans. They started going off on me for not respecting my wife enough to give her an update after 90 minutes, and that even though it's important for parents to have social time, I need to recognize that the only way I can do that is by my wife staying home with our son. They all told me I owe my wife an apology and that I need to do better. In the middle of their admonishment of me, my wife came out and asked what we were talking about. One of her friends said that I had just told them about the party the previous week and they were telling me I need to apologize. My wife looked confused and said, "But I was the one who had the work party." I was sitting there with a little smirk on my face and my wife got pissed. Her friends did too. Her friends told me I was a jerk for lying to them and tricking them. I asked them if their advice for me still applies to my wife and they all got defensive and tried to change their stories. My wife got upset because I embarrassed her. Look, I get how people can lose track of time and it's a very minor incident, but if your partner has a conversation with you about it, not apologizing, and trying to minimize and then victim blame is toxic behavior. Additionally, relationships aren't group projects, and involving her friends at any level was inappropriate. At the same time, them demanding you apologize and then actively bringing it up to the wife demonstrates they are deeply annoying and toxic people I wouldn't want to have to be around sharing oxygen with. You are the asshole. 1. You brought her friends into a marital disagreement, shitty. 2. You lied. 3. You embarrassed your wife to score some petty-ass points. 4. If this is your general behavior, it's no wonder they were so quick to condemn you. People often factor the people involved in a scenario when making a decision like this. 5. She lost track of 90 minutes and you, by your own admission, had everything under control. Why was it so damn important in the first case? Why don't you just sit down like two mature adults and tell your wife how you feel about this? And that you think she doesn't understand your point and feelings instead of doing these tricks. You are the asshole. Why the hell would you think it's okay to solicit opinions from your wife's friends about a disagreement you guys had? I would be humiliated if I were your wife. If I was your wife's friend, I feel bad for her that she was married to such a jerk. The smirk may be the worst part of all. You are in the right for getting frustrated by the lack of communication. She should have apologized. You then went and brought her friends into your marital problems. Then you smirked while publicly embarrassing her because you care more about being right than you do about loving and supporting your wife. You both owe each other apologies. If I were going to miss my son's bedtime after 4 days off being away, I would communicate it a little better. Your wife is a slight asshole for not sending a follow-up text that she got caught up. But you are the asshole all the way for dragging her friends into the argument and humiliating her for. What exactly? What did you gain from this?